2001 Pontiac Trans Am WS6 Ram Air. Second to last year made. Most desirable color combination. It would have to be black on black. Black interior, black exterior. Stock chrome 17-inch wheels. Did I say stock? I bought this car needing restoration. What does that mean? How could a 19-year-old car need to be restored? Well, it was kept out in the desert, which means no rust, but it does mean sun damage. The paint had seen better days. On the hood, it literally burned through the clear coat and the black down to primer. That far. T-bar roof, same deal, down to primer. Most of the rest of the car just had blistering. No bodywork needed, no dents, no dings, all original doors, bumpers, hood, trunk, everything. Restoration. I felt this car was a great candidate to be sold as a like-new car. To do that, it needed to have no engine modifications, no interior modifications, no non-stock items on it, which is how you see this car here. That was the goal. Let's see if I accomplished it. First thing is exterior. Beautiful base coat black, 4 coats of clear coat, paint job. Front bumper, headlight covers, side view mirrors all covered with a flex additive in the clear coat so they do not get rock chips. Something I've learned after painting a couple cars. It works. The rest of the car, regular clear coat. Brand new Ram Air decals placed factory correct. All headlights, tail lights, fog lights, buffed to perfection. Marker lights, no scratches. Back ones, no scratches. Taillights, oh, they were in need of restoration too. One had cracks, so I had to buy another used taillight to replace it. One thing somewhat not stock is it is supposed to say Trans Am above the keyhole. It no longer does. It was faded beyond repair, and I chose not to put on a sticker, which would make that livable. Otherwise, just the nicest gloss paint job that makes my camera not want to focus. No tint, because stock cars do not come with tint. So here we have the ebony black interior. Yes, it's an automatic. That's what I had optioned to me. Again, restoration needed. That is not the stock radio. It is one I found for this car, but it exactly mirrors the stock one. It had a CD player put in it by someone. This is the stock CD. Works with the stock steering wheel controls. The shift indicator was weathered, faded, and in need of restoration. Now you see a beautiful one. The ashtray door, so commonly broken by people, needed to be replaced. Again, just restoration. Everything else works like stock. Cup holder. Perfect. Other cup holder. Another cup holder in the door. Another cup holder in the door. Why do they need 4 cup holders for a 2-seat front passenger car? I don't know. The 3 center vents commonly broken from misuse. Mine were not, but I decided to replace them anyway for the future owner. I think proactively, not reactively. Yes, there's carpet on the dash. Why? I live in the West Coast in Las Vegas. The sun will ruin the dash, like it did this one. I did replace the upper dash, which you can find relatively inexpensively. The rest of the dash is not replaceable. They do not make ones that I have found. Otherwise, it would be new. Glove box, like new, with light working. Sorry, no owner's manuals. Floor mats, no stains. All the gauges clear, legible. Driver's seat. I did have to do again some more restoration. The seat bottom was redone, cannot be told from the rest. This bolster was done where people get in and out. It does look different. It is not as old and weathered looking as the rest of the seat. Back seats, while wrinkly, are in great shape. Yes, that's a word. Wrinkly. Center console matches the door panels. So if you know anything about the 98 and later cars, is every single one of their door panels cracked. It was a factory defect. These were cracked in multiple places. I have since repaired that. Made them look like new. Let's see if we can get a better angle on that. The cracks happen all along the top. As you see, there is no texture, no differences. Absolutely perfection. When I say it took 10 hours to do the door panels, it took 10 hours to do the door panels. Factory black car, so the door jambs match, no work needed there. Both lumbar seats with air bladders still work. Rear passenger seats, no dirt. Factory speakers all intact. Interior fully restored. Door sounds like a vault when you close it, like no old Trans Am usually does. Let's see if we can make our way into the hatch. Hatch would not hold up on its own. New supports were purchased. Now it stays up no problem. I just washed the car for the video. This carpet had what looked to be melted burns in it, so all new carpet was needed. Rear shelf never had any holes drilled for speakers or wires. Looks good. Factory T-top holders still in place. Work perfect. In fact, underneath here, the factory spare, which has never been on the ground, still resides with the jack and jacking instructions, believe it or not. Factory rear speakers still in place and working. So you can see no damage to that rear seat. The original rear seat had sun damage all along the back. Again, the idea was restore. Closes like new. Driver's door. One thud. Closes like new. Now on to what most people are most interested in with this car that makes it special, the engine. Came out in 1997 in the C5 Corvette. It's called the LS1, 346 cubic inches. This car, 320 horsepower due to the ram air and special exhaust. That sticker, oh yeah, I bought that too, $40. Just like I had to buy the hood decals, etc., because we wanted it to look stock, original, OEM. One unique OEM thing you will not find on many Trans Ams, stock electric block heater where you can plug the car in for colder climates. This car, while it never lived in Canada, was a Canadian model. It came equipped with daytime headlamps. When you start the car, they do not come on. They have been defeated. That can be returned to stock by simply plugging in the connector. The only way the headlights come up is if you turn them on. Somehow they did not have automatic headlights in 2001 on a Trans Am, but in 1994 the Chevy Caprice did. Go figure. A little bit nicer of a car. So there you go, all working lights all over the whole car. The tough looking fog lights, outer dims, inner brights. Not just your average paint job, I also painted the headlight buckets inside. I painted the buckets, I painted the black trim around the lights as well. I wanted everything to be perfect. They were black, now they're better than black. I think that's enough on the paint job. Headlights fully functional, common, they all make that noise when you close them. So, stock under here, no funky cane and air intake, no weird irregular items, strut tower braces, long tube headers, none of that. Everything stock. Now, I like performance, I like my cars to work and run the best they possibly can. There is a reusable paper, non-paper cotton air filter inside there. It has fresh Mobil 1 full synthetic oil in it. It has the extended guard or larger oil filter, brand new spark plugs, stock appearing spark plug wires, but they are low ohms. So that means the car performs better than stock. Speaking of stock, in 2001, the Z06 had a different intake, and all other LS1 motors did as well. So this has the much desired LS6 plastic intake manifold that came out in 2001. The only difference from the previous years. In continuing with that, new antifreeze. Stock thermostat's a 190. I put in a 170 just to keep it a little bit cooler than stock, but still normal. Not only that, I cleaned the brake fluid. I flushed it out through every caliper and the entire master cylinder. I know this car had been sitting, hence why it was in need of repair. So I can't show you the transmission, but I did take the pan off, change the filter, change the fluid, and then as I build transmissions, there's one simple thing you can change called a boost valve for the pressure regulator. It's made by Sonex, the #1 transmission manufacturer in the US. It is very inexpensive. While I was in there, I went ahead and changed that. The car at part throttle shifts like stock. At more than part throttle, it shifts like it should, beautifully. Literally, this car starts, stops, turns, brakes like brand new. Speaking of brakes, all brand new brakes. Stock appearing except for the slotted rotors. Now the car came with iron calipers that were silver in color. Well, that wasn't good enough. So I painted them to stock silver, so they're not a funky color, but they do look better than a ugly old iron brake rotor. Okay? Inside the brake system, I needed new pads as well. That was done with quality materials. Speaking of the front suspension, I went ahead and did all new ball joints, control arm bushings, sway bar end links, and tie rod ends. Then I did a full alignment. Can take your hand off the wheel at 80 miles an hour, runs perfectly straight down the road. Tell me, is there anything better looking than a black Trans Am? I don't think so. Well, I hope this is a good video on how to restore a car that isn't in need of restoration, or was it? I think so. Now it appears to be stock. A few things that needed to be done were done, but I believe it held its collector car value. Hope you guys agree. I priced the car at $20,000 on Facebook, Craigslist, and OfferUp. I'm waiting for the spring to use a beautiful website called bringatrailer.com. They get the biggest money for cars that are not modified in any way, shape, or form, with the exception of Trans Ams. I found 4 that sold in the year 2020. All were modified, all sold for $20,000 or up, 22, 23. Okay, they had less miles. I got 57,000. Nothing I can do about that. That's what I bought the car with. That's what it's got now. Is there a difference between 33,000 and 57,000? Well, simple math tells you yes, there is. But drivability-wise, looks-wise, I don't think you're going to find one any finer than this. So buy it now for 20. Wait till the spring. See what it brings on the auction. Unlike my other video where I made reference to sweet Daddy Doug's website, Cars and Bids, I do not plan on selling it there. This does meet his criteria of being a cool or classic car from the 80s, 90s, and on, being in 2001. But I feel it's too stock, too clean, too nice for Doug. Anyway, goodbye for now.